Hello, hello, folks. I am Dr. Brett Spradlin. We are at Divine Design Natural Health. Is there anybody in this room? Woo! Fabulous. Let's just get right down to the pork and biscuits, the meat and potatoes. You're so filthy. What are we talking about tonight? Well, reasons why you have a lot of stuff in your body that doesn't belong there and what we're going to do about it. So, first and foremost, get your kids here. You know, summer's coming, summer's here. Get your kids in here. Let's get them cleaned up. Let's get rid of those stupid allergies that they don't have. Let's get rid of the pollen that's not causing the problem. Let's fix your kids. But also, hey, we're going to have a little promotion at the end of this thing so that you can get your friends or your family members in here, get their feet wet, so to speak. Haha, see what I did there? With Divine Design, so that they understand exactly what's going on. They'll feel immediate results, and they'll go, wait a minute, this stuff works. So we've got a little promotion for you at the end, so stick around. As your kids are getting sicker, you know, you got the school system, you got the vending machines, you've got the churches, outings at the church. It's the churches. It's the churches that make the kids so stinking sick a lot of times, unfortunately. The snacks, the television, the iPads, they're all killing your kids. So let's try to fix your kids this summer before they go back to school, if school even happens in the fall because of the damn monkeypox, right? We know monkeypox is coming. Monkeypox. I'm just going to knock the K out of it, and we'll call it moneypox, because that's really what it is. Yeah. That's all it is. We're all now toxic. There's no way around it. You can't avoid it. You can only limit it. You cannot eliminate some of the stuff out there, those straight clouds out there that are thin and go all over the place. You cannot eliminate it, the toxicity that's in the air and the food and the water, but you can limit it, and we'll talk about all that tonight. So you have to get ahead of it with your younger generations, your aunts or your cousins and your nieces and your nephews and your kids, your daughters and sons. You have to get ahead of it because from a couple weeks ago, we did maybe a month ago or so, good versus fad. Everybody in this class needs to understand what Pottinger's Cats was and what Pottinger's Cats shows you. Your kids are going to get sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker with every generation because of what I'm talking about tonight. So let me just get right to the chase. Let's get right into this. I was at a seminar probably about, it must have been 3-4 years ago, listening to an MD guy talk about some stuff. This was not a chiropractic seminar. This was just I paratroop in behind enemy lines every once in a while, and this is some of the information the stuff I bring back. He said, and I quote, "We don't cure anything in medicine, we just hide the symptoms." Then he said this, "Elimination of the population seems to be the agenda." Does that shock anybody? No. You got an MD telling you this. Then he said there's almost no industry where chemical substances are not involved. There's not a single economic sector where chemicals do not play an important role. I thought that was a very important thing to add into tonight's class. I wanted to just give you kind of an overview. I came across some of these notes a little while ago and thought, man, these would fit into this. There's no way to preserve leather without toxic chemicals. It's the price you pay to look cool. The big thing here is it's not necessarily just leather. Think about your hair dyes. Think about your makeup. Think about your cleaning supplies, the Febreze, the Glade. There's no way that you can look pretty and not be toxic in today's world. Thank you to all the magazines and TV shows. Here's one, too, that I pulled out of the archives. Frogs differentiate into male or female later in their life cycles. A lot of people don't know that. But exogenous, meaning from the outside, hormones, can influence which way they go. Humans are similarly affected. Are you seeing this in today's society at all? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Boys want to be girls, girls want to be boys. You got a whole lot more boys that want to be girls than girls that want to be boys, don't you? There's a reason. There's a reason why it's lopsided. Okay, so, and here, of course, with Mr. Frog staring at the spinning blue marble, traveling 66,666 miles per hour through outer space. It's not the things you do not know that make you ignorant, but those you know are not as you think. Question is, where's the frog standing? We'll talk about, that's another class for a later date, but next. So the top 6 health concerns of people who come here. You think, oh, this dude's a chiropractor. It's got to be neck pain, back pain, headache. Nope, 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 not at all. Top 6, sleep issues, weight problems, fatigue, mood instability. So let that, sleep issues, you can't go to sleep, can't stay asleep, or can't get out of sleep. Okay, there's lots of different sleep issues. It's just not just insomnia. Weight problems. Some people, they want to gain weight. Some people, they want to lose weight. Some people just have had their guts cut out with different bariatric surgeries, and now they can't gain weight, and now they're wondering, what do I do? Fatigue is the #1 reason why people report to medical doctors, or at least the stats I had from a little while ago. That complaint alone, #3 right here, That complaint makes up 20% of all patient contacts in a primary care physician setting, PCP setting. So that's roughly about 20 million patients in a year, okay, in the United States. Mood instability, you could say anxiety, depression, yada, yada, yada. It just goes on and on, bipolar, yada, yada. ADD, ADHD, all that stuff. Digestive issues, you could say Crohn's, irritable bowel, irritable everything from down here. Digestive issues, everything. GERD, stomach pain, hormonal problems, you name it. I've gone through this before in other classes. I thought it was appropriate here. The water class, we did this. The air class, we did this. I figured we'd pull it out too and do it in the toxin class. What's missing? If you heard this before, don't say a word. Old patients that have been around a while. What's for a chiropractor's office, what's missing? What should be there? What do you not see? Anybody? Anybody? What would you think? Joints, back pain, neck pain. Yeah, you don't see pain. Interesting, isn't it? So what does that tell you? That's the top 6 concerns of our patients. What does that tell you? All of these things here, do any of these, other than this one right here, really cause pain? So the point I'm trying to make here is we're not just pushing bones and cranking on your neck and your back all day long, okay? You push bones twice a week for 6 months and you still have back pain. Guess what that means? It means it's not back pain. It means it's organ pain. It means you think it's back pain because it's where it hurts, but it's really your uterus, it's your prostate, it's your guts, it's your kidneys, could be up here, could be, if it's back pain up here, it could be your lungs, could be your thyroid, it could be your neck, it could be your back. But my point here is we don't just play around with pain. We play around with stuff that messes people up because most of these things that really mess people up don't cause pain, right? They don't come for pain. People don't come to a place like this to get rid of pain. They come here to get better, to avoid what the pain is keeping them from doing. Who's got something going on right now? What's your problem? What's it keeping you from doing?
I don't sleep well because of it. Shoulders, I have a side sleeper.
So,
for one thing.
So it's keeping you from sleeping.
Sure.
Boom. If you don't sleep, are you going to have a good rest of your life? See, he's not coming here to get rid of the pain. He's coming here to be able to sleep. He's doing something to keep. He's coming here to do something to get rid of the problem that's keeping him from being able to accomplish something in his life. That's what I'm talking about. 75 to 95% of primary care visits have been reported as stress related. How many of you have been to doctors and they say, oh, well, it's just stress? Check this out. Really? Okay, what kind of stress? People all the time, all day, they'll come in, yeah, I've got a headache, but I think it's just stress. Well, what kind of stress? I mean, there are different types of stress. There's structural, chemical, or emotional. But really, if you boil it all down, every disease is right here. If you boil it all down, every disease is right here, structural. Some people call it physical, nutritional, or spiritual. Some people would call it structural, chemical, or emotional. This triangle right here, if you learn nothing else tonight, this triangle right here will teach you, this right here, 3 things. This is one of the most valuable things you'll ever learn. 3 things. There's only 3 ways you can kill a human, and there they are. That's it. There are 4 ways on a death certificate, but 3 ways literally right here. Structurally. In other words, did you fall off a ladder? Did you get in a car accident? There's structural physical damage, physical stress to the body. See, stress, what you think it is emotional stress. But there are other more important stressors that you feel more often or may not feel more often. Structural stress, you sprain an ankle. There was stress that hit your body, something happened, and it caused damage. Chemical stress. Can chemical stress cause damage to your body? Or chemical damage, I should say? Just take the word stress out, and let's just say damage, chemical damage. Can you cause structural damage with a sprained ankle? Yes. Chemical damage with not enough food or not enough nutrition. We're not just talking about starvation. We're talking you don't have the building blocks of your body to reproduce your organs and your glands and your tissues and your bones, so it's falling apart. So too little of the good stuff, or chemical damage, too much of the bad stuff, right? And we'll talk about what's the bad stuff. That's what this whole class is about. And then over here, the emotional or spiritual stuff. Somebody goes through a divorce, somebody loses a house, a friend, a death in the family, their dog gets hit by a car, some kind of crazy emotional stress that happens that causes emotional damage to the body, the spirit of man. your soul, which is biblically your mind, your will, and your emotions, right? Or there's a spiritual attack upon you, because how many of you know there's an enemy out there?
Amen.
If there's good, there's got to be bad. You see what's happening in the schools and in our government? You think these people aren't run by the bad side? I mean, they have very different goals than normal people like you and I, right? So the emotional, spiritual side, the chemical, nutritional side, and the structural, physical side, if you get, watch this. Somebody falls down and hurts their back, or gets in a car accident and hurts their back. They go to their medical doctor, they get an opioid, right? They develop a wonderful addiction on top of the back pain that now won't go away. And now they're in depression and their marriage is falling apart and they're losing their job. See how it goes in a circle? They're all related. So you're thinking it's just emotional stress, but no. Or somebody goes through, their house gets broken into, their marriage falls apart, something like that. And then they are working to repair the house. They fall off a ladder and then they start drinking because everything's just falling apart. Or they just start eating a lot of fast food, whatever. That spiral right there will explain to you every single disease you've ever had, every disease you're ever going to have, or every disease that you know somebody to have had. That's it. The triune of health. So how do you fix all those? We'll get to it. Next. So symptoms of toxicity. How do you know if you're toxic? Well, everybody is. If you're breathing, pooping, eating, peeing, you're getting rid. And I could not tell you how many articles, things. If you just go search detoxification, you'll find it's a conspiracy theory. People really don't believe that toxicity can happen in the human body. Well, that's all that happens in medicine. But right here, these are some symptoms, well-known symptoms of toxicity. Now, remember, detoxification isn't real, but this is what happens when your body gets toxic. Cognitive decline like dementia, Alzheimer's, brain fog, Parkinson's disease, stuff like that, myalgias. You will be diagnosed with a fibromyalgia, right? Fibromyalgia, pain in the muscle. Fibromyalgia is not a diagnosis. It's just a word that says you got pain in the muscle fibers, but you already knew that because you went to the doctor and told them that your muscles hurt. See, the diagnosis is fake. So the myalgias are pain in your muscles. Can you have pain by walking and turning your head because you're toxic? All day long. Immune chronic inflammation. You would know that as type 2 diabetes, multiple sclerosis, or allergies. And in which case, for this one here, you ought to check out our anti-aging classes, neurology classes, stuff like that. And then this one here, we just did the allergy class a little while ago. And we did probably 2 years ago, every autoimmune condition we talk about in one class called the evil parents of autoimmunity. And that's right here. So if you're talking about everybody's all up in arms about, well, I think it's just inflammation, or, oh yeah, it's an autoimmune disease, that's fake. We'll prove it to you. In that class, the evil parents of autoimmunity, you will understand your body is not stupid enough to attack itself. That's what you've been told. I get it. You've been told that. That's a lie, straight from the pit of hell. Your body is not stupid enough to attack itself.
True.
Amen? So then, check that out. Check out the evil parents of autoimmunity and the allergy class that we just did like a month ago. Digestive disorders, microbiome stuff, irritable bowel syndrome, irritable bowel disease, all that nonsense. It's all fake. It's all garbage. Endocrine disorders, emotions, reproduction, weight, fertility. If you can't have a kid, would that have anything to do with toxicity? Your body's trying to reproduce another human, but your body's toxic. So at some point, and you're not getting enough food to rebuild that little human. So what's your body going to do to terminate something so that you don't suffer? But nobody ever tells people, oh yeah, your infertility, that's because of something you're doing. They're just saddling, oh yeah, well, you're just barren, you're just infertile. Here, do IVF, and then we'll pump you full of these drugs and all these chemicals, and then you'll have a kid, and your kid will be messed up. Yeah. Miscarriage is a nutritional deficiency. It's simple. Think about it. How are you going to build a new house if you don't have the drywall and the bricks, right? Then developmental issues, anxiety, depression, ADD, all that made up alphabet soup that they're giving kids, OCD, ADD, ADHD, all that nonsense. We have a whole class on that called, what is it? Land of the Free, Home of the Crazed. That's a good one. That's a good one, especially for the veterans out there that are being murdered by the vaccines. You might want to check that one out. DNA damage, aging, cancer. Check out the aging class. Check out the cancer class we did. What was that, October? I don't even know. A few months ago. We explained to you the very two things that cause cancer. What are the two things that cause cancer? No, two things.
Radiation.
radiation, and what else? Chemicals. 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 Yeah, radiation and chemicals are the two things that we know that can cause cancer like that. And obviously, strangely, ironically enough, those are the only two ways you can legally treat cancer in the United States. Ha! Funny, huh? See how they've got you? Got you coming and going. And they've got you paying for your premiums and deductibles and copays and prescription costs the whole time, thinking that you're going to get the perfect specialist who understands your level and stage and grade of that disease. And he's going to know other stuff that all these other specialists didn't know, because now you're going to the best dude in Vanderbilt. And you're spending 4 hours driving there, and he's just telling you chemo and radiation, chemo and radiation. Sound familiar? I hear it every day, all day long. Next. Oh, liver damage, yeah. Neurological damage, numbness, tingling, dystrophies. Whatever happened to muscular dystrophy? Whatever happened? Anybody? Jerry Lewis? Whatever happened to the Muscular Dystrophy Association, right? The telethons. Huh, funny, huh? Where'd that go? Numbness, tingling, all the muscular dystrophies, many others, symptoms of toxicity. They just go on and on and on. What does the medical diagnosis say? Well, the delusion of a medical diagnosis is, well, it's just driven by symptoms. We just treat your symptoms. Like you heard my MD friend at the very beginning say, we don't cure anything. We just treat the symptoms. Cover the symptoms, I think he said. It focuses on one cause for each ailment. In other words, if you have a lack of taste or a lack of smell, then obviously it has to be the COVIDs, right? And coming up, if you have a little pimple, it's going to be the moneypox. Right? There's one little thing, one cause for each ailment, right? That's medicine. If you got an infection, it's one little microscopic bacteria that caused it all. Think how illogical that is. Think how illogical that is. It says it's strictly a linear problem. In other words, if A, then B, then C, if C, then D, then E, then F, it's all linear, right? That's why you'll never get the answers from a medical diagnosis. Like fibromyalgia, like what I just said. Fibromyalgia tells you what you already told the doctor. You have pain in your muscle fibers. That's it. So it ignores multiple system involvement. So in other words, they're just going to drug your thyroid, right? You think that levothyroxine you've been taking since 1988 is just affecting your thyroid, but it's affecting your heart, your brain, your kidneys, and everything else, right? It ignores multiple system involvement because they're just drugging your thyroid according to a number on a blood lab, but they didn't ask you what you had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the blood lab, nor did they care that you were taking 3 other medications at the time you got your blood drawn. Stupid. So they're not even thinking about multiple systems being involved. It's just one little number on a blood lab that tells you that your thyroid's whacked. Offers a one-size-fits-all solution, the best one-size-fits-all solution that I know of, that a 3-pound baby or a 300-pound linebacker can all get all at once with no differentiation for anything is the shot. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you give them. Just give them that shot, right? One-size-fits-all solution. You got fibromyalgia? Take this drug. That's all we can do for you. Matches a drug to each disease. Hey, you've got this? Take that. You've got this? Take that. You've got this? Take that. That's how it works. That's the medical diagnosis, okay? And then it measures few, if any, outcomes. How many of you in this room have been through a progress report here? How many of you are patients that have been through an actual progress report? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many things, who recently, because we've changed a few things recently, progress report was like after your first 12 weeks. If you haven't been here 12 weeks, then you haven't gone to a progress report. You have? Yes? When we went through your progress report, how many things did we measure? All your issues, what else? Did we measure your blood pressure, your heart rate, your body fat, your BMI? Did we measure your heart rate variability analysis? We measured your system survey questionnaire, your toxicity questionnaire. We measured all your organs. We measured all your dosages. We measured all your supplements. See where I'm going? And we do that every visit. Every visit. Right here, the only outcomes you get are, well, how's your pain this week? Victim so-and-so. And then, well, it's a little better. Okay, well, let's up the dosage. I mean, is there anything else? I mean, I've done this a long time. I don't think there aren't too many. Well, we could order a CAT scan or an MRI. That's what we could do. We could order that and see if the tumor's shrinking. Next. So the medical diagnosis, so here's an example. So insulin resistance, so you're eating a lot of sugar, right? You can't get insulin into your cells. You can't get sugar into your cells. So you're developing insulin resistance. So then that breaks down fats to feed you. So that's going to screw up your blood lipid ratios. So that's going to screw up a bunch of stuff, right? But then you've got environmental toxins coming in, and those can elicit anxiety. You can't breathe. All of a sudden, less oxygen in your brain. You're starting to get headaches, that type of thing. So then your vagal nerve dysfunction can wreak havoc on your digestion, and your heart rate gets crazy, and your thoughts and it affects your thoughts because your microbiome uses the vagal nerve to communicate with your brain. So all of your digestive system uses the vagal nerve that communicates with your brain, one of your 12 cranial nerves, cranial nerve number 10. It goes up into your brain to communicate with your brain. And since all of this is related to how you're feeling, it's not linear. It's completely all over the place. Your body is not a linear machine where this and then this and then this and then this. Your body changes a lot of things. We'll show you that. We've got a good example coming up here in a minute. However, we do have a commercial break. Welcome Lauren up. She's going to read some testimonials.
Hello. Okay, so this patient wrote, before starting at Divine Design, I did not have a period for 4 months starting in December. Before I was officially a patient, I did 2 ionic detoxification foot spas, and a couple days after my second foot spa, I had my first period in 4 months. So that just shows some power of detoxification right there.
Detoxification. That took about, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Crazy, right? But people don't even know this stuff exists because their insurance won't pay for it. It's funny. All right, so let's laugh. Without government, who would tell you to give cyclists space while blocking the bike lane? It says give cyclists space, right? That's right in the bike lane. I tell you, we're doing war with memes. It's the meme wars. Yes, Moloch warns of looming child sacrifice supply chain issues. How many of you know what that means? You know, does that make sense to some of you in this room? Do you know what this is talking about? Babylon B. Babylon, it's satire, Babylon B. Yeah, Moloch, we won't get into it. If you want to know more about the Moloch thing, watch the pharmakia class, watch the vaccine classes. Ben Carson said, if it's not a human being, then why are you harvesting organs from it? Yeah. See, the same stuff that's happening with the organ harvesting and the dead babies and everything are the same people selling you the drugs. Next. No one loves a warrior until the enemy's at the gate. I'll, amen, brother. Amen on that one. Next. A few of you got it. I was seeing who would get it and who wouldn't get it. Most of you got it.
Georgia guy?
I had to explain this to somebody the other day. I said, oh, really, really, really? Next. I love this one. This might be one of my favorite memes of all time. Scientists who didn't predict a single thing accurately for the last 2 years, confident they know what the weather is going to be like in 100 years.
That's right.
If you want to know more about the weather and the hoax that is your climate change that used to be called global warming, remember that? But they changed the name because people were starting to figure it out. If you want to know more about that hoax and the reason that they're coming after you to tax every single breath you take, check out the Hands in the Air class where we talk about the stratospheric aerosol geoengineering and all the stuff they're doing to trick people into the climate change hoax. Next. So here's how your body actually works, okay? Rather than the medical diagnosis delusion stuff, here is how it actually works. If you have a chronic illness, it involves multiple body systems, okay? If you have a long-term, in other words, a long-term illness, it's going to involve multiple systems. You don't just have a thyroid problem that's affecting your TSH. You don't just have one little number on a blood lab. How do I know? Because tell me once, if anyone in this room has ever had anyone go get their thyroid medication and take it, and then magically their life has changed, they're dancing through the tulips, and everything is better. Have you ever had anybody walk out of their doctor's office saying, yes, finally I got the right blood pressure medication, and damn, I feel good? Never. Finally, oh, my medical doctor put me on the best cholesterol drug ever made, and I feel like $1 million, and my heart is pumping like Seabiscuit. I am good. It won't happen. It never has. It never will. Has anyone ever known anyone to walk out and go, oh my gosh, my thyroid feels so much better? It's only 25 more years of levothyroxine, and we should be fine. Looking for simplicity in a single molecule is illogical. When they're looking and they're shoving PCR tests up your nose to look for a little section of DNA, if you don't know what that means, we did a whole series. 2020, I taught almost every week, keeping people awake to what was going on. You know how many people in this practice got a vaccine? One person out of hundreds got a vaccine because we kept them awake, and we kept reprogramming all the crap they were watching on TV with real stuff. Going, oh yeah, here's the guy who made the PCR test, and he says you can't find the stuff with it. Interesting, isn't it? So intervention needs to match complexity of chronic issues. So if you're going to help somebody, you got to match all these problems. Well, the easiest way you can fix problems is to return back to the source. Who's the source? God, who made you, right? God. What are you? Fancy dirt. Very fancy dirt. So how do we fix you? We replace parts of you with fancy dirt. It's called Plants and Animals, because if you read the book, a couple chapters after he spit some air into Adam's nostrils, it says, and he pulled from the earth plants and animals. Very simple. I'll never forget the day that scripture hit me in the head. I realized, wow, this is how you fix humans. That's it. Simple. It's a nonlinear problem. It goes all over the place. It's not linear. Then underlying cause, you got to consider it. What's causing this problem? Is it the breast implants she still has that's making her sick? Is it the IUD that's just messing up her hormones? Nobody would ever think to look. It's perfectly safe and effective.
Yeah, what a lie.
The biggest lie you've heard, besides men getting pregnant, is safe and effective. That's it. Okay? And you can have many diagnoses with the same symptoms, right? Stomach pain can be 50 different things, or 50 different things can be stomach pain. And you can have the same symptoms with different diagnoses. You can have 12 people lined up against the wall. They've all got psoriasis, but their psoriasis looks totally different. It looks like, some of it looks like eczema, some of it looks like atopic dermatitis. A dermatologist would have a field day with this, right? But guess what? Your body fixes it all the same. It doesn't care about my degrees. It doesn't care how long I sat in college. It doesn't care about what drugs you're on. It doesn't care about what vaccines. Your body cares about one thing, getting better, right? It's easy when you remove all of the man-made, take the denominationalism out of your medicine and just think purely, what does it say? Not what's my opinion, but how do we fix it? What does it say? Right here. Here's a good example. So 42-year-old dude walks in here with knee pain, back pain, fatigue, insomnia, depression, diabetes, weight gain, digestive pain. Okay, how would you fix that? If you went textbook and grad school-wise, it'd be very complicated, and you'd be reading about 12 different textbooks. But here, is he going to sleep through the night and regenerate? Are his knees going to get healed and fixed with the right stuff getting there at the right time? Is his back pain going to go away? Because guess what? It never was back pain. It was kidney problems. See? It never was back pain. How many people come in here? I've been a chiropractor for 30, 40 years. Yeah? You still got neck pain and back pain. What's up? Yeah. Did they ever do nutrition with you? No. Did they just keep adjusting you like twice a week for like 6 months and once a week for 6 months and on and off? Yep. Okay, I get it. So he sleeps through the night. His knees finally heal. His digestive problems evaporate. Because why? Right there. Fatigue vanishes. Remember I told you the fatigue was like one of the top things? One of the number one things that people report to a doctor's office? Now here's another one. Where does your energy come from? Close. You learned that somewhere. Where does your energy come from? Where does your blood come from? Your food, right? Where does your energy come from? Your food. So if someone comes in with fatigue, what do I automatically know? Automatically. Diet. Automatically. If they're tired, they're not eating real food with energy in it, created by the Creator. You're eating food created by one of the creations of the Creator that the creation created in a lab to create profits. You're eating fake food that you've been tricked into eating because of a television commercial. So his fatigue vanishes, his depression magically dissipates. You'd be surprised how many of these things are just days. Days, not weeks, months, days. Diabetes, he forgets about it. He forgets his insulin, forgets his metformin. His weight resolves. He's swinging for the fences. What does that mean? Well, his marriage gets better. Guess what? His life enjoyment returns. His productivity goes up. And guess what? He gets a raise at work because he's kicking butt. So his productivity goes up and his income increases. That's how this works. Next. Very interesting, huh? Now, I know you can't read this in the nosebleed section, but I'll read this to you. This is a Senate document from 1936. 1936. How many years ago is that? 86 years, right? Ish. Laboratory tests prove that the fruits, we go into this in detail in some of the food classes and stuff like this, but I use this as an example. This is almost 100 years ago. Let me read this to you. You can look this up online. It's Senate document number 264 from 1936. Here goes. Laboratory tests prove that the fruits, the vegetables, the grains, the eggs, and even the milk and the meats of today are not what they were a few generations ago. And this is in parentheses, which doubtless explains why our forefathers thrived on a selection of foods that would starve us.
And that was back in 1936. And what it is today.
Look at your kids and your grandkids. Look at your nieces and your nephews with the Go-Gurt and the pizza and the goldfish and the chicken nuggets.
So artificial.
This was before McDonald's was invented. This is before fast food was a word. It's bad news to learn from our leading authorities that 99% of the American people are deficient in these minerals, and that a marked deficiency in any one of the more important minerals actually results in disease. You'll never hear this in medicine. You will never hear this in medicine. Any upset of the balance, any considerable lack of one or another element, however microscopic the body requirement may be, and we sicken, suffer, and shorten our lives. Oh, sicken, suffer, and shorten our lives. Have you heard that before? He was just out running, and he's perfectly healthy, and he just died of a heart attack. Well, he wasn't perfectly healthy, was he? We know that vitamins are complex chemical substances which are indispensable to nutrition. You never hear of them on the news. You'll never hear of them for COVIDs, and they most certainly do not want your kids understanding this. And that each of them is of importance for normal function and some special structure in the body, of some special structure in the body. Each of them is of importance for normal function of some special structure in the body. Did your oncologist tell you this? The 4 times you went in for chemo and radiation? Disorder and disease result from any vitamin deficiency. It is not commonly realized, however, that vitamins control the body's appropriation of minerals, and in the absence of minerals, they have no function to perform. Lacking vitamins, the system can make some use of minerals, but lacking minerals, vitamins are useless. So minerals, think of it, your calcium, your magnesium, your phosphorus, anything that's on the periodic table of the elements. Your minerals, your dirt, right? The sodium, the magnesium, all the stuff with the chemical abbreviations on the periodic table come from dirt. That's what they're saying.
Our fancy dirt.
Say what?
Our fancy dirt.
Your fancy dirt. You are made of fancy dirt. You are very fancy dirt, darling. You're almost too fancy for me. Certainly our physical well-being is more directly dependent upon the minerals we take into our systems than upon calories of vitamins or upon the precise proportions of starch, protein, carbohydrates we consume. We talked about that last sentence right there, good versus fad. The class we did about a month ago, good versus fad, it was all the fad diets, and then what we do here that's different and how it all makes sense, and how I will never ask you to count grams, carbs, or calories, and how you will lose. Who was it today? She lost 45 pounds in 2 weeks. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's possible. She had some weight to lose, but it's possible, right? This discovery is one of the latest and most important contributions of science to the problems of human health. How many of you heard of this before? Anybody? Anybody in this room ever heard of this? Yeah, that's what I thought. Next. So, what else weakens your body? Oh, I don't know. The list goes on. Antibiotics, prescription drugs, Tylenol, over-the-counter drugs, vaccinations, food, air, water problems, prolonged stress. That's the emotional stress, but think about it. Chemical stress, structural stress. You put all 3 of them together, you're dead. Cosmetics, fear. That's your TV. That's your media. Everything, all the monkeypox, all the crap that they've been slinging on you for years and years and years. You know, the COVID's hoax made people wake up, but they've been doing this crap to you for decades. I mean, I've been spitting this for 10 years now, but it took me a long time to wake up to it. I used to work in a hospital, for crying out loud. But the stuff's been going on since vaccines were invented. You just found out about it the last 2 years. Blood transfusions, don't get one unless, you know, don't touch them, especially now.
No.
Especially now. You know, where's that blood? Who had that blood before me? Operations, there's no such thing as a minor surgery. Toxic work environments, you know, we got people working at Olin and Bowater and what's the other big chemical? Wacker around here. There's a lot of people, you know, they're working at, you know, Volkswagen and stuff like that. These people come in with some heavy duty stuff. We talked about the class, Lies Doctors Tell. Somebody, one of the people said they found out what we were teaching about. And they said, oh yeah, I worked there for 40 years. And the higher ups would never drive their nice cars out to Wacker because of the air quality. It would rust your car. It would peel the paint off your car. The air quality. And they're working in it. Unbelievable. Oh, but yeah, all the lung problems those guys had, what's going to be blamed? Pollen. Toxic work environments, radiation, toxic relationships, chemicals. You've got some people in your lives that the last 2 years proved to you got to wipe out. Wipe them off the table, you know, kick them out of the boat. Sometimes it's got to happen. So on that note, welcome the lovely Lauren up one more time. Testimonials.
Okay, this patient row, it took extreme circumstances to make me sweat. I couldn't do anything active without feeling faint because my body was overheating. Even a quick walk outside would cause me to run a fever and feel terrible for hours after. I'd been this way for as long as I could remember. After my second infrared sauna, I started to sweat like a normal person. Now I can enjoy long walks with my husband and do even more strenuous exercise without the fear of passing out. So detoxing is so important so you can actually do stuff like that without overheating or getting sick or anything like that.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about it later on, but I can't tell you the number of people who've come in here who haven't sweated since the 80s. They've lived inside, air conditioning, no manual work. And so they come in and they say, well, we show them the sauna and this and that. And they say, well, I don't sweat. Oh, you will. I promise. You'll be in there 45 minutes, $1.50, you'll sweat. It might not be the first visit, but that second visit, you'll come out like, I haven't sweated like that my whole life. I'll go, yeah, I know. That's your body waking up. That's how beautiful that is. Say what you mean what you say. Rod Serling, right? Twilight Zone. Imagine saying you stand for women's rights while letting men dominate women's sports and nominating a man for Woman of the Year. Y'all know that's happening, right? All the craziness that's going on. Hopefully we're in a room full of like awake people who know what's going on. I will end world hunger by killing all the hungry people. In his best Kermit the Frog voice while he's wearing his pastel sweaters. Who would have thought that the Antichrist would speak like Kermit the Frog and wear pastel sweaters? You know? He's not really the Antichrist. He's just a stepping stone. Next. You know, we never had a baby formula shortage until men started getting pregnant. You can't make this up, man. The left in 2020 and 2021. One life lost is one too many. Same group, 2022. Let us kill the babies. Isn't that crazy? One life lost is one too many. Remember that? Next. I'll let you read that. You know, some of the stuff seems outlandish, but once you start looking into it and you go, man, they're all the same people. It's all the same people. And it's all the same companies that are doing it. It's crazy. And some people just don't want to know. Bill Gates is amazing. He launches artificial breast milk right as formula shortage hits America. He's the largest investor in vaccines, and there's a pandemic. He's the largest owner of land in America. There's a food crisis. It's almost like he's clairvoyant. Speaking of Kermit the Frog, maybe one day we'll stop believing the media every time they create a crisis. Oh, yeah, totally. Isn't that great? Okay, we got a short video here. It's like 4 or 5 minutes. How long is this, Jonathan? It's like 5 minutes. This is a movie you can check out on your own. I mean, if you want to nerd out on some cool stuff like I do frequently. But this is an older one. This is like from 2000, I don't know, 2012. So some of the stats are probably pretty old. But check this out, just to give you an idea what we're talking about.
Maybe we should know about the environmental chemicals before people are exposed, because if you don't, we will end up having to study it in humans.
I was diagnosed at 37 with invasive ductal carcinoma, stage 2. My cancer wanted to move.
We went in just to my OB-GYN and she diagnosed me with polycystic ovarian syndrome. They have no idea why I have it and I haven't been able to get pregnant. We've been trying for about three years now almost. There's many, many chemicals that we're all exposed to that have been linked to reproductive problems and infertility. Obviously it makes me think, well, hello. You know, we surround ourselves by these things.
I have a 12-year-old brother who's significantly impacted by autism.
Do chemicals cause autism?
Well, that's the question of the hour, isn't it? Have to prove that a chemical is safe for it to get on the market.
You can't explain it by just genetics, right? Genetic drift does not happen in 20 years. So there has to be some type of other factor that's going on that explains this. And chemicals are certainly one thing that's gone up dramatically in the last 50 years.
You can go through a few classic examples of major mistakes in which we allow these industries to get away with murder.
Too many people are affected by this. We need your help. This is a safety issue.
I'll be honest, I take offense when anyone would even insinuate that our industry is supporting an increase in the body burden of chemicals.
It does feel like somebody fell asleep at the red phone and it's been ringing.
When you tell Americans that the Chinese have better protections than Americans do, they're shocked.
We need a movement around this because that's how things get done.
This was a topic that I couldn't be quiet about.
1, 2, 3, 4, touching chemicals no more.
We shouldn't have to wait to get cancer, a reproductive problem, for this issue to change. It should change now.
Did you ever read that book, Horton Hears a Who? And you know, they're all screaming, we're here, we're here. There's like this group of little people sitting on a speck of dust who are like, we're here. And there's going to be some type of opening that will bring this issue to light.
That's one example. There are millions of them. There's all kinds of stuff coming out regularly. So, why is everybody screwed in the United States? Right here. Medical schools teach virtually all diseases are caused by what? Two things: genetics, germs. Genetics, we can't change it. You're screwed. Your mom and dad gave it to you. God cursed you with it. Can't do anything. Germs, we do have a fix for that. It's called antibiotics. It's called vaccines, right? And hand sanitizer, right? So either way, you're hosed. So the solution, therefore, is to name and label each disease, each molecule, right? And have us believe that each of these diseases can be remedied by drugs or surgery, oftentimes to kill the bad germs. How did we arrive at this conclusion? I'm going to read this for you. Some of you may or may not have ever heard of this, but we talk about it fairly frequently around here. So medicine says you're trapped in an outcome that you cannot control, like being struck by lightning, But there's always, remember this is number 2 thing I want you to take home with you, besides the triune of health. There is always a cause and effect relationship. It didn't happen to you by chance. You worked for it. You were diligent about it. That diagnosis came to you because you diligently, didn't even know you were doing it, acquired something that you didn't want from people who were getting you to pay for you to take it. How funny is that? There's a cause and effect relationship for everything, okay? So Louis Pasteur, you know him from pasteurized milk fame, right? That's why, by the way, I won't announce it on camera, but we have a fix for this. I can't announce it on camera, but the pasteurized milk thing, there's a fix. But Louis Pasteur, the one that you've heard about, the Pasteur Institute, that's the dude, said that germs were the cause of disease. This is the very foundation of Western medicine, and it's called the germ theory of disease. So concurrently, at the same time, another French scientist named Antoine Beauchamp advocated the terrain theory of disease. Listen to how much more sense this makes. He stated that the germs were ubiquitous, meaning everywhere, and therefore opportunistic. They were everywhere and even inside of us in a symbiotic, interdependent relationship. You know what? This is 19th century. This is way before they discovered biotics, probiotics and prebiotics. This is way before they figured out that you had bacteria in you digesting stuff. So Beauchamp was a French guy saying, it's not the disease, it's not the pathogen, it's not the bacteria. It's the fact that the body allows the pathogen to take hold, right? It's the terrain theory. It's the, okay, you're not going to have a messy environment. If you have a messy environment, you're going to have bugs show up, right? But if you have a clean environment, the bugs can't take over because your body is stronger. What's stronger, the body that God created or a bacteria or a virus or a cancer? Right. So Beauchamp realized that only when the tissue of the host became damaged or compromised, meaning you got to cut, it's compromised, were these germs manifested as a prevailing symptom. They were not the cause of disease, merely the results thereof. He advocated health through detoxification, diet, hygiene, and healthy lifestyle practices. This dude was way ahead of his time, right? He saw infection as a result of illness, not the primary cause. So through restoring health, infections went away on their own with no need to kill the organisms. You don't need antibiotics. You don't need vaccines. What? And by the way, the vaccines are not what vaccines were 200 years ago. Go watch our vaccine class. Go watch Darkness to Light Part 6. Go watch the vaccine class. Go watch Shotpocalypse. That'll show you. Where did vaccines come from? People don't know this stuff. Oh, and watch the Roots of Your Pharmacia Healthcare if you really want to understand what's going on in the United States. So he found that a diseased, low-oxygen cellular environment is created by a toxic, nutrient-deficient diet, toxic emotions, and a toxic lifestyle. Fabulous. Pasteur and Beauchamp had a bitter rivalry regarding the true cause of illness. Pasteur's germ theory won out, as you know his name, from pasteurized milk, right? Enabling mainstream medicine to profit from patented drugs to fight the war on germs. Every time a war is declared, remember this, someone's profiting. War on drugs, war on terror, war on COVID, right? I hate that word. Why'd I even say that word? But war on homelessness, war on this, war on that. Had Beauchamp's discoveries been incorporated into medical curriculum, disease may have been eliminated, leading to the end of the pharmaceutical industry. Today, 200 years later, Western medicine is still based on the germ theory, giving rise to endless vaccinations and antibiotics. Think about it biblically. 2,000 years ago. Well, go back even farther. Go back to the 4,000. Go back to Genesis. Go back to Moses. How many diseases were there? Maybe 12. Most of them neurological in origin. Mute, blind, deaf, lame, woman with the issue of blood. Leprosy is about the only skin thing you can name out of the Bible, right? How many others are there? Maybe 3 or 4 that I'm leaving out. Blindness, deafness, muteness, right? Where'd all these other diseases come from? Man started pushing molecules around. He opened the Pandora's box of playing around with atoms and molecules, right? That's why we're talking about toxicity, are we not? Next. Here it is. Medicine says vaccinate the fish. Terrain theory says clean the water, clean the tank, right? That's a very important, and notice which one would the fish naturally go to? Why do humans naturally go here? We have been so screwed, and I didn't put it in this class because I didn't want to take the time, but people are indoctrinated, vaccinated, medicated, glyphosated, the whole, like the 8 reasons why you can't talk to people anymore about this stuff. If they're watching 8 hours of TV a day and they're taking 12 meds, they're gone. Unless there's a miracle, next. So in review, past year's germ theory says to vaccinate the fish in the aquarium. Beauchamp's cellular terrain theory says to change the water. Dummy, change the water, right? You don't have to vaccinate the forest. The forest takes care of itself, right? You don't have to fertilize the forest. Think about it, right? It's okay on its own. The terrain determines health or disease, not the pathogen. So this is critical. The pathogen is a result of the disease. What happened 2 years ago where they freaked everybody out and made you think that you had to stand 6 feet apart? So no one ever became sick due to a deficiency in pharmaceutical drugs. Most illness is due to cellular malfunctions from toxicity and a deficiency of nutrients at the cellular level. Remember, the triangle that we showed you earlier, the lower left corner, the chemical stress, right? Chemical damage. Too much toxicity or not enough nutrients at the cellular level. It's so simple. It's so simple. If you understand this, you'll never have to chase a medical diagnosis ever again in your life. We will get rid of your OBGYNs. We will get rid of your psychiatrists. We will get rid of your oncologists. Did you hear me? We'll get rid of your pediatricians and your vets. Animals, it works the same way. Want to know why your dog's got cancer? Same reason you do. Food, medicine, and vaccines. That's it. I'll prove it to you. So if you suffer with chronic disease, therefore, understanding which organs are involved in detox and optimizing their function is absolutely essential to your survival. Right? Next. So there's 4 channels of elimination. There's only 4. Only 4. Well, there's a 5th one, but we'll get there. Urination, you pee through your kidneys. Defecation, you poo through your bowels. Expiration, you breathe through your lungs. And perspiration, you sweat through your skin. So if people have not sweated since 1988, right, and they work at a foundry and they're breathing in toxic crap, if they're constipated and they poop once a week, which I've had that. I've had a 75-year-old dude pooping once a week. And the day he started pooing, his back pain went away and everything got better. His back pain wasn't back pain. His back pain was, he was full of poo, right? And women have a magical 5th channel of elimination called menstruation. So when you bleed, when you cough, when you pee, when you have diarrhea, and when you have things coming out of your skin, it's glory. Count it all joy, my brothers, right? Because that's your body doing what it's designed to do. But they label diarrhea as a problem that you need to treat. They label coughing and phlegm as a thing that you need to treat with decongestants, right? And they label perspiring. Never let them see you sweat. Exactly. And then if you urinate, a lot, or if it hurts or anything, or there's blood or it's foam, they've got something for that too. But those 4 ways of you getting things out of your body are 4 things that are never talked about, right? Constipation. You tell your doctor you're constipated, he's going to shove a camera up your butt. Colonoscopy. They're going to look for polyps. They're going to drug you. That's what they're going to do. Here. So there's 2 ways the toxins are introduced into your body. There's only 2. Easy, right? From normal physiological processes, what do you think the second one is? Abnormal physiological processes, right? So you can eat, you can drink, you can breathe. Put stuff in your mouth, in your face. What do people eat? Processed food and drugs. What do they drink? Fluoridated, chlorinated water, artificial sweeteners, diet sodas. What do they breathe? Chemtrails, fragrances, air fresheners, cleaning supplies. I said it before, I'll say it again. You hear me say chemtrails, you think conspiracy theory. Go home and look up the word geoengineering, and you'll see that they're the same thing and that that's what your government's doing. But they make you look like an idiot by talking about chemtrails. I still call them chemtrails. That's what they are. Did you see them in the video? They're everywhere. That was 10 or 12 years ago. What was the date on that film, Jonathan? Or do you remember? Yeah, there were chemtrails in the, you know what? They're putting chemtrails in the cartoons for your kids. I've seen it. I saw it 10 years ago. And if you breathe this many times a minute, that means you're getting 30,000 toxic breaths a day if you're not doing something to clean your air in your house that's filled with mold and Febreze and air freshener and all kinds of other stuff, candles. Then the other way is abnormal, right? Toxins through your skin. I wonder, what are the ways that people could get toxins through their skin? Because everybody thinks you just put stuff on your skin, it doesn't go in your blood, right? I wonder. Well, chemical exposure from the work environment, that would be okay. Like if I'm a farmer and I'm working with pesticides and herbicides. Well, and if I'm, if I'm cleaning hotels and houses and stuff and I'm using all kinds of Windex and bleach, yeah. Well, cosmetics, we're smearing stuff all over our sensitive mucous membranes, right? Made by companies, subsidiaries of pharmaceutical companies who have access to the chemicals to make the stuff that's killing you, that you're buying at a premium, to finance your own euthanasia. Then, well, there's the medical patches. There's weight, smoking, hormones, diabetes. You've got little kids now with insulin patches on their arms. You'll see them in the cartoons. They're normalizing all this crap. It's pushing us towards transhumanism, which we did 2 classes on that called Artificial versus Natural. 2 classes on transhumanism we did about 2 years ago. And then the last one here, ways toxins are introduced into your body. Oh, I love that one. That one, everybody needs 5 boosters of that, and you should probably get all caught up with your CDC recommendations if you haven't already, which means you need another 86 shots. So that's a total of 91 shots made by companies who have been chronic felons for decades. Yeah, sign me up. Next, our bodies. I have a hard time keeping up with the 85,000 toxic chemicals currently approved for use. Most have never been studied for safety, and the overall number increases every day. That's why we tell people, once you get better, stay better. Come in and do a foot spa, do a sauna, do a pulse, do something just once a month. Because you're going to keep pooing, peeing, breathing, and sweating. So just keep cleaned out. You cannot eliminate, but you can limit exposure by influencing and encouraging your body's natural elimination processes and optimizing function. What do we do when people come in here? We speed up the process so that what would have taken them 5 years of just doing food on their own, nutrition on their own, turns into 3 months. Saves them a lot of money. This is why detoxification and fasting, I'm not talking intermittent fasting. I don't do that. Fasting are important. And fasting biblically without prayer is just useless. Colonics date back to 1700 BC. Colonics, hydrotherapy in the colon. Shove a tube in there, pump a bunch of water in there. That goes back 1700 BC. Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic, homeopathic, they all adopted the idea that the natural world has a wisdom and law that governs the universe. Funny, huh? And in the last 150, 200 years of American medicine, we just said, screw that. We don't believe in that. We want to learn and abide by this law rather than dominating, corrupting, crushing, and trying to kill it, right? So here's an example. Clogged toilet. Oh, no, we got a commercial break. You ready? Okay. Everybody welcome Lauren. Commercial break.
Okay, this patient wrote, I had a tooth abscess in the top left side of my mouth. I was in terrible pain and could hardly sleep for a few hours at a time. I came for a full body PEMF treatment and was informed that PEMF could be localized and focused on the area that is being troubled. I did a short focused PEMF on my tooth and the rest of the hour on the whole body. I left and it still hurt for a few hours, but then began to lessen. I slept well that night, and the next morning I woke up and the abscess was completely gone.
But what do you mean, Lauren? We're not a dentist. How could you get an abscess to go away?
By giving your body what it needs.
Crazy, isn't it? You know how many people go in for root canals every day? Unbelievable. Mean what you say what you mean. Well, democratic socialism, what they mean by that is socialism. Toxic masculinity, I love that one. That's just if you're a straight white dude, right? I'll let you read through those. Climate change, another tax opportunity. Inequality, your money should be theirs. And if you disagree with anyone, you're a racist, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi. So mark my words, that's coming. For the first time a dude walks into an OBGYN clinic and that dude wants a hysterectomy or he wants birth control pills and they don't give it to him and they get sued, your medical ship will crumble and will burn into the sea. And we may or may not have room for you at that point. Seriously, because it's coming. Jonathan Shuttlesworth, he's a pastor that's been speaking up about this crap since day one. He said, I don't care if monkeypox joins forces with HIV and COVID to become a Marvel comic supervirus. I will never comply with another public health order for the rest of my life.
Amen.
Anyone else? Amen. And I'll say, I never did. I'll add to that. I wore a mask, 3 times? And every time it was on a flight because I knew it was hogwash from the minute it dropped. Next. It was the same thing they did for polio 80 years ago. So if you don't read history, you're just like, oh, we got a new thing. No, this is polio just repackaged. That's what it is. 2002, West Nile. 2004, SARS. You remember all this crap? 2005, bird flu. 2009, swine flu. 2014, Ebola. 2016, it was Zika. Those genetically modified mosquitoes. Remember that? And then in 2018, it was measles. Nobody ever died from measles. 2020, it was COVID. 2022, it's monkeypox. Their bait stops working when you stop taking it. Turn off your television. It is government indoctrination, mind control. That's it. That's all it is. Next. This is the age group of people you are saying can make sound, permanent health decisions. And you know who's behind the transgenderism thing with kids and the gender reassignment surgery? Wait for it. Drum roll, please. The American Medical Association. The atheists and the evolutionists at the American Medical Association are coming for your kids. That's who's behind it. Next. What causes ADHD in children? You show me a kid with ADHD, I will take you to the mom's pantry and I will show you this. Artificial colors, refined sugar, caffeine, artificial flavors, aspirins, Tylenols, ibuprofens, all the crap they feed kids to reduce their fevers, which is stupid. Preservatives, seed oils, processed grains, sulfites, artificial sweeteners, MSG, and fast food. Chicken nuggets, right? Kids do not have ADHD. I know that comes as a shock. I know. It's a psychiatric diagnosis, right? Made up and voted on by a bunch of people who only have the rights to do drugs and surgery, right? ADHD is not there. Most powerful weapon in the world? Weapon of mass deception. You got people voluntarily locking themselves in their homes, not visiting their parents in nursing homes, wearing a face diaper, and rolling up their sleeve for a chemical depopulation weapon. That's where we're at. Next. Oh, breaking news. Something irrelevant to your life just happened. Now I'm going to blow it out of proportion for days to keep you distracted from what's really going on. Sounds about right.
She's pretty.
Well, they pick them for a reason. They don't put slobs and idiots on there, you know. So examples, here we go. Clogged toilet, result of pipes being unable to remove toxins. The variable is the pipe. It's not the toilet, right? But here's another example. Cook a meal, leave the dishes in the sink. Come back the next day, do the same, leaving the dishes. You'll eventually have mold, bacteria, pests, right? That's how it works. So you clean your car, you clean your house, your kitchen, but not your body. People take showers to wash the outside without a single thought to the inside. You can detoxify every day and still wear the same chemicals. You'll continue to get the same result. What I mean by this, people take showers to wash the outside without a single thought. What I mean? Your body, you're eating stuff every day that's making you sick in many cases, or making your hair fall out, or making your skin sag, or whatever. People don't think about it. You can detoxify every day and still wear the same chemicals. You can clean yourself every day, but if you're still using the same perfume or the same shampoos or the same lotions, you're still going to get the same result. Knowing this, next. So knowing this, why is there no drug to treat a toxicity? Anybody?
Money.
If we know a lot of this stuff this is the third thing I want you to take home with you. If we know that all this stuff, all these sicknesses are caused by toxicities, why is there no drug to fix it?
Money.
They don't want to cure it.
Because the drugs are toxins.
Yeah, exactly.
There is no drug that's not toxic. See how it works? Take that home with you. There is no drug that is not toxic to a human body. Period. Simple. That's why you will never hear medicine talk about toxicity. maybe a forensic file episode where the husband was pissing off the wife and the wife fed him arsenic for like 6 years just to kill him. You'll hear about toxicity there, but that's at an autopsy. That's not in a medical office, right? So medical doctors will never talk about toxicity. Remember at the very beginning, two things where medical schools teach: genetics and what? Germs. Do you ever hear the word toxicity? No, because if they prescribed you a drug, if they said, "Oh, take this for the toxicity," the very drug they would give you would be causing more toxicity. It's impossible. Those drugs do not occur in nature, and drugs suppress and block and inhibit, which reminds me of a scripture. The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, right? So just remember this: an acute toxification of your body. There are many people who would agree that toxicosis is the only disease. Toxicosis means a condition of toxicity in your blood, or toxemia would be in your blood. Toxicosis would be condition of toxins, right? There are many people that would agree that, like, really the only disease you got to deal with is toxicity. So what does that tell you about all the stuff we do in this office for toxicity? What does that tell you, right? So an acute toxicity occurs when you combine an environmental exposure to something with suppressed biological activity in your body. Remember that. Very good. And going back to this, shark bites, bullet wounds, car accidents, crappy nutrition, too much toxin in the food or the air or the water. And here is just hanging out with toxic people and watching crappy TV. Or baking your brain with Netflix or whatever. It's emotional trauma. You watch that movie, it's going to make you feel like crap. Then you're going to go drink, and then you're probably going to fall and trip and break your ankle. See how it goes in a circle? All right, so what should you remember with all of this? Here you go. And then we're almost done. Perfect timing. Liver is the only organ in the body that can completely regenerate itself. You cut somebody's liver out, it grows back. What does that tell you? Our oil filter replacing itself should tell us much about our self-healing ability, right? Check this out. 64 countries require mandatory GMO labeling. Not us. What's that tell you?
They tried.
Oh, I love it. You got to know what's on your mattress, but they don't want you to know what's in your food. Isn't that great? The sun helps your skin detoxify, but we are taught to stay away and slather on toxic sunscreen. That's a crime against humanity. Vitamin D is so important, God put it in the sunshine, right? So the only way you can keep people down and sick and stupid is to make them afraid of the sun. Tell them skin cancer, pre-cancer, everything's pre-cancer, right? Everything poops. Everything poops. Kings, queens, Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, everybody poops. Dogs, cats, cells, bacteria, etc. So it's natural for all living organisms, or they're not going to be living much longer. Just remember that. Like, everything has to excrete waste. Everything. Including bacteria. When bacteria excrete waste, right? We'll get into that later. We won't even talk about that. Bacteria excrete waste. It's called an exosome. You've heard it called a virus. We'll stop there. We're self-repairing systems. Cut yourself and you heal. Unless you're full of poison. The only way you're not going to heal is if you're full of poison, right? Next. Before transdermal patches and creams, know this. The fastest way to deliver a drug into someone's system was through rectal suppository or IV via needles, intravenous via needles. Both are faster than sublingual, right? So if hard tablets in your butt can be absorbed, soft stool can be more easily reabsorbed. You get where I'm going with this? Clinical constipation is 1 bowel movement per day, by definition. That's how they define it. Normal elimination is 3 times per day shortly after each meal. So you poo, you eat, you poo, you eat, you poo. Sometimes you can poo before you eat. I don't know. You could probably poo before. However you want to do it. But 3 times a day is normal. Having somebody, if you eat 3 meals a day, if you eat 2 meals a day, then 2, right? But anyway, if you have a dude that's coming in here only pooing once a week, and he's done that for 50 years, that shocked me. How did we know he was doing that? Because we have everything written out, his food log. How many, every day, what'd you eat? Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Your poos, your sleep, your water, all of it. We're watching, we're monitoring. And I look at his stuff and I say, hey, you're only pooing once a week. What's happening? Yeah, that's the way I've always been. Good old boy. Good old boy. I love this guy. She's like, yeah, why? Is there something wrong with that? Yeah, man, you're going to die. That's what's wrong with that. But they would tell you that clinical constipation is one bowel movement per day. That's clinical. Like, that's the definition of we got to do something. So what would they do? Medical solution is a laxative followed by a colonoscopy. Take a drug that forces your body to, right? 4 inches of heaven for 30 feet of hell. Remember that. 4 inches of heaven. Your taste buds on your tongue. Most people are so indoctrinated, medicated, glyphosated that they will not even think about changing their diet. They'll put up with the 30 feet of hell, the pain, and everything like that, because those taste buds, just like Paul said in the good book, the tongue is the most vile of all parts of the human body. Because those taste buds, those food scientists figured it out decades ago. And they know that they've got a hook in your tongue. They know. People won't give it up. So they'll put up with 30 feet of hell as long as they get that 4 inches of heaven. As long as it tastes good for that 10 seconds, they're chewing it, they'll put up with hell. They will, unless something changes their mind, unless they get a shock, unless they get a life-threatening thing that happens. And they'll go along for years and years and years, walking on the razor's edge, Colon hydrotherapy will make you feel like Superman. We don't do that here. I'll send you somewhere. But coffee enemas work as well. People wonder why that works. It does. And we can explain it later after the thing. I don't want to talk about too much poop on camera. Oh, and by the way, did you notice? Speaking of poop. Oh yeah, the poop frame. Remember these too. Genetically modified mosquitoes, compliments of our friend Mr. Bill the Gates of Hell, and Zika and Morgellons, the threads coming out of skin, and Lyme disease, and all this upcoming money pox and stuff like that. You got to remember, all of these things are genetically modified toxins to take you out. The Morgellons disease, we talk about all that in the chemtrails class, the hands in the air. Go back and rewatch that. If you do not detoxify from your food, your air, your water, your chemicals, your cosmetics, your cleaning supplies, your medications, your vaccinations, the list goes on, it is a statistical certainty that you will end up with some form of chronic disease. It's a statistic certainty. Every high blood pressure case has an increase in pressure because the elimination pipes are compromised. Oops. Compromised. Remember, the plugged toilet, remember? It's not the toilet that's plugged, it's the pipes, right? Blood pressure returns to normal when the heart doesn't have to pump harder to push blood through constricted pipes. We just fixed your blood pressure problems right there. And, and a few other things. We won't get into it. Household hazardous waste collection day. Here goes. Check this out. Does this look familiar to anybody? Anybody live in Cleveland? Every year they put this out, okay? Household hazardous waste collection day. This is proving it to you in a court of law. I use Cleveland Utilities' own stuff against them a couple times. You can flip their water report over and they'll say fluoride is a runoff from fertilizer and aluminum manufacturing. And they'll also say fluoride is an important nutrient for dental health. So which one is it, right? It's their documents. Well, here's another. I'm not picking on Cleveland Utilities, but this comes in your mail. So household hazardous waste collection day. I've used this a few times in other classes, and it's shocking to people. It just drops their jaw. So they want you to put your stuff out, they want you to deliver this to a certain place on a day to collect household waste, such as automotive and marine products like oil and fuel additives, starter fluids, body putty, all the home maintenance stuff like oil-based paint, strippers and thinners. That's paint thinners and strippers, not strippers like girls. But adhesives, driveway seals. Here, take her. I got to get rid of her. Oh. But roofing tar, wallpaper, she's costing me too much money. She put on a bunch of weight. Ugh. Home lawn and garden products like pesticides, fertilizers, wood preservatives, miscellaneous, pool chemicals, photo processing chemicals, mercury thermostats and thermometers, medicines and drugs. You see the problem?
Medicine and drugs.
It's right in your mailbox. They don't want it going in a landfill. It'll pollute the water. They want you taking it. Isn't that crazy? Come and drop it off at the place, right? where we can recycle it and sell it to somebody else. Probably. So, or put it in the water that makes up 80% of your body, right? Because you know all the psychiatric drugs have fluoride in them, right? Not all. I shouldn't say all. Many, right? So you've got your medicines and your drugs here at a household waste collection day where they specifically say on the backside of this thing, we don't want it getting into the water table, right? And then they make you feel bad. Like, did you know that most people who do, over-the-counter or pharmaceutical drugs got it from a neighbor, and you could be a drug dealer and not even know it, So come and give us all your opiates and all your stuff, because we don't want your kids getting into that. Because if you put it in a landfill, it pollutes everything for all of us. But you put it in your body, and it's safe and effective for them, right? So here's the other kicker that I want you to remember. Giving sick care to a culture and calling it health care will result in a sick society. And that's where we're at. That is where we're at. So what do we do and why does it work? I'll run through this real quick. How does it work? Why are we so far? Oh, we got a commercial break. But yeah, let's do one more commercial break and then we're out of here. Come on up, Lauren. Preach, sister, preach.
This patient said, I'm 47 years old and have never experienced sweating my whole life until the infrared sauna. Even with other saunas and hardcore exercising, I would never even have a drop of sweat. Now I am sweating sooner and sooner while in the sauna, and it feels so good to finally be able to sweat.
Boom. Yeah, we talked about that. Yay. So, mean what you say what you mean. You don't have power here. I'm awake. It's not something you join, it's who you are. When you hear something like this drop in March of 2020, and you just know right here that this ain't right, I won't fake reality for anyone. I won't pretend men can get pregnant. I won't pretend the air is scary. I won't pretend there's health in a needle. I won't pretend politicians care about people. I won't pretend schools provide education, and I won't pretend 2 planes got 3 towers. Oh, nobody laughs at that last line.
5:20 in the afternoon.
Yeah. If the truth makes you uncomfortable, man, don't blame the truth. Blame the lie that made you comfortable. Sometimes it's very, it can be hard to teach people some of the stuff because we've all grown up in it, So you're telling me that my cancer and my arthritis and my diabetes and my allergies that can all be fixed? Yeah, if you do what we tell you to do. It's super simple. It's super simple. And if you can get ahead of the drugs and the scalpels, some people, they get their guts cut out, their digestion is changed forever unless God regenerates their guts, which I believe is possible, right? I had to put this one in here because it's just great. Black guy shooting a white guy. That's racist. Why is the black guy the villain? White guy shooting a black guy. That's racist. Why does the black guy have to get shot? Black guy shooting a black guy. That's racist. Why is it only black people killing each other? And then a white guy shooting a white guy. That's racist. Why are there no black people in this movie? Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And here is B.J. Palmer. I taught a whole class on the greatest healing profession the world has ever known. It's called, it's a class that on chiropractic. It's called the greatest healing profession. It's on all of our other platforms. B.J. Palmer, he was the developer of chiropractic. He was the son of the discoverer. But he said this. This is one of his most famous quotes. He said this: if the germ theory of disease were true, there would be no one living to believe it. In other words, if it was just everything was bacteria and virus and fungus and parasites and everything was little wee beasties that you can't see, that you should be afraid of, and everything's pathogenic and it's going to kill you. If that was true, there'd be no one here to believe it.
That's right.
Ha! I know this is contrary to everything you've learned. I know, thinking that, the last 2 years and all this stuff, it's crazy. But it's just a little artificial sweetener. It's just a little flame retardants. It's just a little heavy metals. It's just a little SLS parabens. It's just a little glyphosate. Just a little ammonia, fluoride, refined food. You get the point. PFAs, the Teflon in your fancy cookware, your EMFs, you got your phone in your bra, you got your dioxin, you got your genetically modified white cotton bleach tampons in your vagina for, a week every month, and you're wondering why you got PCOS. That woman at the very beginning of that, movie, the human experiment, the PCOS thing, I can't tell you how many PCOS cases. I can't tell you. Were OBGYNs, drugs, surgery, scrape, surgery, scrape, drug, OBGYN, scrape, surgery. PCOS, gone. I mean, endometriosis, all of it. Hysterectomies, cancel, reschedule, cancel, reschedule. Why? Because of this right here. Everything else. Okay, next. Can't tell you. It's crazy, and it's all the same. If you think fluoride's for your teeth, fluoride's working. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Great. I'm early on this one, but I'm anti-monkeypox jab too. I'm just putting that out there. I know I'm early on this. Next. So what do we do? Why it works? Food logs. You're going to write down everything you eat, everything you drink. You're going to write down how many times you poo. You're going to write down all your liquid, all of it. How was your sleep on a scale of 0 to 10? It's easy, right? You're going to fill it all out. And you're going to fill out toxicity questionnaires. We're going to take a system survey form of all your body's systems. You fill out a bunch of paperwork. We leave no stone unturned. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to change your breakfast with high-protein vegetable shakes to replace all of the, what do kids eat? Cereal. Well, I should say this. What do adults eat? What do adults eat? Adults eat cereal, Pop-Tarts, sugar, bagels, donuts, granola, all the sugar. It's all sugar. You want to know what the problem is with your diet? Watch the Good versus Fad class and watch what was the other food class we just did? Good versus Fad will show you and the sugar class. Watch the sugar class from 2 weeks ago. We replace all the breakfast sugar. Beets, kale, spinach, dandelion greens, Swiss chard, whatever. Brussels sprouts. You don't have to do all these. Just do a couple of them. Just do 3 of them. Beet greens, cilantro, parsley, ginger. This one right here, it's fascinating that we spend millions of dollars to spray Roundup, which causes cancer, on dandelions that help your body fix cancer. See how tricked we've been? It's just phenomenal, isn't it? Yeah, education via books. You'll be reading books when you come here. I know we get I ain't read a book since high school a lot from people. Well, you're going to read a book here, bub. You're going to read a book. And you're going to watch documentaries. You're going to come to some classes like this, watch them online, informational handouts. In the near future, in Q3, everyone who comes in as a new patient, you'll be watching a class every week and you'll be taking a quiz. You'll be watching a class, taking a quiz. You don't understand about the water, the food, the air, the chemicals, the cosmetics, the cleaning supplies, the vaccines. You will watch a class on the food. What do I eat? Boom. 25-question quiz. Week 2, here's the water, because 80% of your body's made of water. So if we got the water thing wrong, we ain't going to fix anything. So you'll watch the water class, take a quiz. Then you'll watch the vaccine class, take a quiz. No doctor's office that I know of anywhere does anything like that. Nobody that I know of. Phase 1, initial 12-week care plans, 90 days. So the least we'll touch somebody. If they're not here for that long, we won't even do an exam. We're not gonna touch you for that. Question. Here's a question. Your blood comes from what? The changing of the tides is controlled by the moon, magical teleportation from an alternate dimension, a combination of paternal and maternal DNA, or the food you eat and the water you drink. Everybody all at once. 1, 2, 3. D. There you go. Yeah. Phase 1 takes the trash to the curb. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to do an SP purification program to attain long-term dietary changes. And we're going to re-educate you on how and what to eat and not to eat. We, personally, every staff member in here does it. We at least do it twice a year. More if we need to. And you should too. So liver phase 1 detox binds to and converts all the harmful chemicals that are floating through your blood. Because you're, for lack of a better term, I hate disparaging it like this, but your liver is your oil filter, for lack of a better term, right? So your liver phase 1 is going to bind and convert all the harmful chemicals, and then phase 2 makes everything water soluble for excretion from the kidneys, or through sweating, or through bile. So you're going to pee it, you're going to poo it, you're going to sweat it, right? Phase 1, so think about it this way. You take the trash to the curb. Phase 2, here comes the garbage man. It's very simple. Very, very, very simple. And I think let's play this. Okay, I'll warn you. The video's a little cheesy. It's kind of old. The music sucks. But it gets the point across. We don't need to kill the lights this is good. We're almost out of here. 5 more minutes after the video. but at the very beginning, you saw all the stuff that she's spraying and doing, and all this dyed hair, hairspray. I mean, in the other classes we teach, you'll learn, like, you know, the average woman is exposed to 300 chemicals by the time she walks out of the house. And I think average is 12 to 18 products. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I wanted to show you that. Oh, and did you notice your liver is your lifeline? You notice that one line? It reminded me. You guys all need to really think, why would your liver be called your liver?
Because the first 4 letters are live.
Right. So, and what organ gets poisoned more by vaccines and drugs than any other organ? Your liver. You can't live without your liver. That's why it's called your liver, right? That's why it regenerates. So just take that home too. That's another little point to take home. So number 6 here, ionic detoxification foot spas to target organs of elimination. When was the last time you walked on a beach? In Tennessee? Get the pathways open and keep them open regularly. This is not put your feet in water and it sucks stuff out of your body. These are not the little pads from Walmart that you stick on your feet and you come back later and they're black. Hot water, you sit in it, there's an ionic field that's discharged into the water. Your blood flows through your feet, picks up a charge for a certain number of minutes, and then that charge reverses from positive to negative about halfway through the 23-minute cycle, and now your blood is, so at the first charge, you're at the first polarity, positive, your blood is able to now pick up as much oxygen as humanly possible. Iron, magnet in your blood, picks up oxygen, and it travels throughout your body because your blood is constantly pumping during this whole process. Then the reversal of the polarity happens, and your blood is able to go and let the oxygen go, right? So it targets, really what we're doing with this is we're targeting your food, your air, and your water organs. In other words, your bowels, your lungs, and your kidneys. That's what we're doing. Will you see changes in the water? Yeah, but we're not like sucking stuff out of your feet. There's a lot of weird stuff out there on the internet. That's not what this is. Infrared sauna therapy to target full body elimination with a shower afterwards to remove the sweat. So you're in this thing, it's 150 degrees, or it doesn't have to be 150. That makes you uncomfortable. Keep it at 110, 120, 130, 140. You don't have to cook yourself at 150, but you'll drip like a faucet. When was the last time most people actually sweated, considering modern conveniences like air conditioning and fear of the sun, right? They don't go outside anymore. They're scared, and they live in air conditioning, so they haven't sweated. We also use Young Living essential oils to replace cosmetics, personal care products, and toxic cleaning supplies. How many chemicals do you use on your body or in your home? For years, I would send people to the store and say, well, buy 7th Generation, or buy Dr. Bronner's, or buy this or buy that, and then come to find out that toothpaste got bought by Colgate, or this shampoo got bought by Palmolive, or not Palmolive, Procter & Gamble. And so after a while, I just realized there's only one company out there big enough to not be bought by the pharmaceutical subsidiaries. And there's only one company out there that doesn't sell stuff in stores. Well, there's more companies that don't sell stuff in stores. But my point is this. If it's in a store, 99.9% of the time, it's toxic for your body. 99.9% of the time. So I finally put my eggs in a basket and said, just like Standard Process, the supplement company, is too big to go under. It's the first supplement company in the world. Multivitamin was coined by the guy who started Standard Process 100 years ago, the term multivitamin. He called out autoimmune diseases before autoimmune diseases were even a thing, 60 years before they even were documented. So Standard Process has been around a long time. First supplement company in the world using plants and animals, organs and glands. Young Living is the same thing. What happened with Gary Young to be doing oils for 35 years with Young Living is exactly what Royal Lee was doing 100 years ago with Standard Process to create the world's first supplement company. So they're kind of eerily similar. So we use a lot of Young Living stuff to get people off the stuff that's killing them. Next. Then we do chiropractic and laser. That removes toxins in the tissues. It has nothing to do with neck pain, back pain, or headache. Watch the Greatest Healing Profession class if you want to know like really what's up with chiropractic and why 40 years ago they tried to get rid of chiropractic so your only options would then be drugs and surgery. And that was a conspiracy as well, that back in the 80s. Nervous system problem is a digestive system problem. Always, always, always. Get adjusted regularly. It's not for pain. It never was. Number 10, clinical nutrition, all the supplements that we use 8 or 10 different companies. To rebuild organs and to restore normal function of elimination pathways. We can rebuild your organs of elimination through whole food nutrient solutions, homeopathic liquids, herbal liquids, botanicals, even stem cells. Not dead babies in a syringe, not the injectable stem cells, the ingestible stem cells. We use PEMF or what we call pulse therapy or pulsed electromagnetic field therapy to detox EMFs from your body and to restore cellular function. It's exercise without moving. It's the testimonial Lauren read about, what was it, the abscess in the tooth. How else are you going to get into somebody's mouth without anesthesia and dentistry? How else are you going to heal that broken bone? How else are you going to fix a problem that is internal? Right there. It's exercise without moving. Next. And we're almost done. Oh, air and water purification units. We won't talk much about that. Watch the hands in the air. Chemtrail geoengineering stratospheric class that we did a while back, or watch the You're Full of It water class. We talk about the units that we use to filter air and water. So here's a summary. This is it. Everything we do here is safe. Everything we do is effective, empowering, valuable, and ancient. It's safe because nothing we do can harm you. It's safe for newborns as well as 90-year-olds. People are always like, well, what do I do about my kids and my dogs if they eat my supplements? They'll be healthier. It's all food. It's plants and animals. There's no overdose in this office. It will never happen. It's impossible. You could walk into the food room that you'll get a tour in here very quickly. You could walk in there and eat everything in that food room, in the supplement room. We call it the food room. You could walk in there and eat everything, and the only thing it would hurt is your checkbook. That's it. Or your debit card or your crypto account, whatever you want to pay. Effective. You will begin to notice improvements immediately. Within a day or 2 days, you will begin to feel something different. It's empowering. What you learn here will forever change your life, your family, and your future. Honey Bunny, we are changing your grandkids right now. You just don't even know it. Right, Christy? Have we changed your daughter at all? Right. Amanda, have we changed you at all? Have we changed your kids? Yeah. You don't even have kids. Have we changed them? They're going to be the healthiest kids on the block, yeah. Right? Assuming that we have schools and society in another couple of years. But yeah, absolutely. Valuable. We offer the most cost-effective health care you will ever find. I should take out the word likely. You will ever find. Ancient. This is truly traditional healthcare. It's naturally and biblically. It is ancient methods. This is not alternative medicine at all. At all. And we'll have questions here in a second, but here's the promotion for all you guys. Get in here. Is this where the promotion is? We've stuck it in. Here it is. So now through June 30th. That just means this is up until June 30th. You can book it whenever you want, but just up until June 30th, you can pay $135, and that's what we're doing as an intro to detox. If you added it all up, it would be $200. But the package includes infrared sauna session, ionic detox foot spa, and 1 pulse session. So PEMF, pulse electromagnetic field therapy session. We're doing that to kind of introduce people, and we go, hey, we know you're going to feel it. We know you're going to have a testimony. We know you're going to get it immediately. This is kind of an intro because so much of what we do is so new. Hell, people think chiropractors. They don't even know what chiropractic is not for neck pain and back pain and headache. They don't even know what a laser does. They don't know what half the stuff does. So we thought, okay, let's do this, and let's do it at this class so people get an understanding of what all of this stuff does. So you can get one of each and save $65, basically. It's valid for people who have not yet started here as a patient. So that's going to go through, just pay for it up to the 30th. You can book it whenever you want. But does that make sense? I think that's a heck of a deal. It's a heck of a deal. And I think, who thought of that? You thought of that this morning. Yeah. So Lauren, good ideas. You need some good ideas? Ask Lauren. She got a bunch of them. But yeah, get your family and friends here, get your kids here, get the whole 9 yards, and we can open some questions real quick. I'll take 2 questions and then we'll shut off the camera so these guys can get out of here. 2 questions. Anybody? Or 2 observations? What do we got? Anybody? Questions? Yeah?
The ionic detoxification foot spa, does it remove any minerals?
Does it remove minerals? It removes something from your body because your body's sweating. Does it remove minerals? I mean, you could sit there and test the water all day long and try to find something. So I'm sure your body is sweating things out because we keep the water hot. So your body's going to lose things out of your feet. Most of the sweat glands that you have, there's 3 or 4 areas in your body that have massive amounts of sweat glands. Your crotch, your armpits, and your feet. And we don't go near the crotch and we don't go near the armpits. So the obvious next best place is your feet. So we put your feet in the water, hot water, your feet will sweat. So whatever your body's going to lose in its sweat, which I'm sure there would be some minerals in there, would be, you can lose toe jam and fungus and skin cells and lotion and nail polish and all kinds of stuff. So will there be minerals coming out? Yeah. Yep, absolutely. But we have a way of replacing them, replacing the good ones at least. Yeah. Yeah, you get a little drink. That's why we do the little drink that everybody loves. Yeah. Good question. What else? Anybody? Christy, what'd you learn? One big nugget. I put you on the spot, didn't I? I'll let you think about it for a minute. Katarina, what'd you learn? Think about it. I'm going to come back. I'm coming back to you.
What did I learn?
Yeah. What's one big thing?
We are fancy dirt, and the way we replace the bad is with the good dirt. If that makes sense.
We are fancy dirt, and the way we replace the fancy dirt is with good dirt. Yes. Very nice. Sue, what'd you learn? No. Or what's the question? Hit me with one thing that you learned. I just want to make sure you all are paying attention.
There's always a cause and effect for everything.
Always. There's no such thing as just an accident. There's no such thing. What'd you learn, sir? Oh, here you go.
The triangle, the stress triangle, structural, emotional, and...
What about it?
How they relate to each other. There's no linear systems.
Right. Yep. Very good. Very good. Any other questions? Christy, what'd you learn?
Pay for our own slow death here in the U.S.
You sure do. You pay for your own slow death. You are paying for your own. Whoa. You are paying for your own euthanasia, and they're hoping to God that you don't find out about it. Yep. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
4 inches of heaven for 30 feet of hell.
There you go. That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. People's lives are ruled by their taste buds. Sadly, but that's what we're doing to change all this.
There's another scripture that says their God is their belly.
Their God is their belly. True. Yes, ma'am.
And it's just interesting, like when you go to the doctor, like they're treating your disease, not you. They're treating that.
Right. Yeah, that's why when people call and they'll say, hey, do you guys treat this or treat that? We say, well, we treat patients. We treat the people. And the diseases just go away. Yeah. They just magically evaporate and dry up and go away. And it was like it was never there. As long as you get to them before the scalpels and the drugs, But yeah, they just treat diseases. Your insurance premiums are focused on the disease codes for your disease. When people come here, they love that their name does not go into a government database with an ICD-10 code next to it, documenting that they're a diabetic for the rest of their lives. They love that. We're not in bed with the government. We're not in bed with the pharmaceutical industries. They got no power over us. So keeping your privacy is fabulous. And you're not just a number, right? We do the stuff here that my wife, my mom, my sister, my brother, my dogs, we do the same stuff here that we're going to do with you. Find another doctor's office that does that. Right. Absolutely. Good observation. Good observation. Yeah. All right. Anything else? We'll shut her down. All right, and then we'll give away some free stuff, and we'll do the spin. We'll do the spin here in a minute. We got a couple spinners? Couple spinners? Oh, you're robbing me blind tonight. I see how you are. Okay. Okay, so, hey, in 2 weeks, what's the date on that? 13th of June, yes. 13th of June, that is What the Food. WTF, What the Food. You want to know what to eat and how to eat it and why not to eat certain things? We'll talk about the food industry and why your medicine doesn't talk about your food and your food doesn't talk about your medicine. So that's in 2 weeks, June 13th. Thank you, Sue. We'll have to get you some black scrubs fairly shortly. 3 weeks. Sorry. Yeah, because we got Memorial Day coming up. So it's 3 weeks. Thank you, Rye. So June 13th, and we will see you in 3 weeks. Tell everybody, get them here. Dr. Brett Spradlin, Divine Design, Natural Health. We'll talk to you soon.